One of you asked, Tom, how did you do it? How did you get to this understanding of how to manifest and create the things that you want and desire in your life? What was your aha moment? What clicked for you? Well, I've answered this question in many different ways, and I love the question. And we've also talked about it during our live events. But I want to cast my net one more time. Once again, answer this question. And here's really where I want to start. It all changed. It all clicked. My life changed completely, entirely, when I stopped doing this. When I stopped asking, why hasn't my life changed? Why am I seeing these circumstances and conditions that I don't want? When will things change? When will I finally live my dream life? What do I need to do to manifest the things that I want and desire? And where are they? Where is this new life? I've been trying, but where is it? And the biggest question of all that I stopped asking is how? How do I do it? And I moved to one single idea. Who? It's about who, and the who is you. I understood that I am reality. I am source. I create it all. It's my own awareness of myself that creates it all. It's not about how or why or when or where or what. It's about who. And that who is you. The ancients talked about this in Scripture in Matthew 16:13 through 16. I've talked about this. Jesus Christ, or your Christ consciousness, your I am awareness, in Scripture, talking to his disciples, asking them, who do people or men say that I, the Son of Man, am? Who do they say I am? And the disciples answer, coming up with all sorts of ideas. Jeremiah, John the Baptist, Elijah, maybe one of the prophets. In other words, believing that there's circumstances or conditions or others or processes or techniques or thoughts and feelings and emotions that create your reality. The only question is, who are you? Jesus pushes back and says, okay, but who do you say that I am? Who do you say? Not the people, not the circumstances, not the conditions, but who do you say I am? That's the answer. You are it. I am that, or who I am. The ancients told us the name of God or existence or all that is. You are the center of all of it. You are one with the field or the Father. There's no separation. You are literally all that is. You, that physically focused you, is the personalized, individualized, localized expression of the one I am, all that is. That impersonal, holographic, non-local, one universal mind. In other words, you're having a personalized experience of an impersonal. And what does impersonal mean? It doesn't mean cold and uncaring. It means it's all personalities, all possibilities, all points of consciousness. There's no separation. That's what makes all things possible. Holographic means anywhere you are, all of God is. And anywhere God is, all of you are. All of God is. All of it means all that is can't be divided up. God doesn't get divided up. Any part of God is all of God. God is in everything and everywhere. There's absolutely no separation. There's no place where God is not. Therefore, you being one with that essence, there's no place where you are not. You are literally, actually, all that is. You are that impersonal, holographic, non-local, one universal mind, meaning non-local meaning it's everywhere. It's simultaneous. The idea of linear time in a physical experience, that it's just an experience, time and space. It's all here and now, and you're there. But we mostly spend our time asking these questions, meddling in the middle of the circumstances, of the conditions, of thoughts and feelings and emotions, asking how and why and where and what and when. Remember that physical manifested frame or reality is always changing. It's not what it seems. That 0.00001% of seen physical manifested experience is entirely and completely new in every moment. That's why they call it an illusion. It doesn't mean it's not real. It's all reality. Everything is reality or real. It's just not what it seems. It's always changing. That's what changed for me, because all of those questions are dealing with the manifested frame. That 0.0001% that doesn't seem to change, that seems fixed, that seems hard to move, but it's always changing into who you say you are. Hear this, your own awareness of yourself. So who is the only question that matters, and what's the answer? You. You are all that is. You get to decide. You get to create it all. When we say make it about you, we mean reality is you. We make it about our specific person, or about the money, or about the job, or about the events or the circumstances, or about certain processes or techniques we need to learn, or the affirmations or the imaginal scenes, or all these techniques, or all these thoughts and feelings and emotions. But it's about you. All of that, all of those other things are secondary causation, secondary conditions, secondary cause. You are first cause, or relative first cause, only relative to the field or the Father that you're not separate from. The middle are all the secondary conditions, secondary causation. And in Matthew 16:16, Peter answered, Simon Peter finally answered, when Jesus said, but who do you say that I am? Right? Remember, the disciples went off on a tangent. John the Baptist, Elijah, one of the prophets, Jeremiah, right? Allowing the outer conditions or circumstances define who you are. And Jesus pushes back, but who do you say that I am? In other words, you define that. Simon Peter says, you are Christ, the Son of the living God. In other words, what are they saying here? You are the personalized, individualized, localized expression of the one great I am, that one great existence, the field, the Father, the one universal mind. You're having a personalized experience of that one impersonal mind that you are. You're no one personality. You create an experience, a personalized experience of that impersonal, all that isness that you are. You create an individualized experience of that holographic nature that you are. In other words, you're not a mere aspect of God. You are all of God. Wherever God is at all of God must be. This means wherever you are at all of God must be. You're having a localized experience, but you're non-local. You're everything, everywhere, all at once. You're not confined to time and space. That's an experience of you as that simultaneous being. And it's always changing. That frame of experience is not what it seems. It's always changing into who you are. And every moment, think about this, has never been experienced before and will never be experienced again. Reality is here and now, and it's always new. But at the same time, it's changeless, meaning it's eternal, it's infinity. One moment, you're it. I am is the only reality. That physically focused you, that 0.00001%, that seen physical linear experience, is also the unseen, non-physical, limitless you. There's no separation. There's nothing wrong with your ego. There's nothing wrong with your physical experience. You don't have to ignore anything or run away from anything. It's always changing in every moment. That's why you don't have to ignore it. That's why you don't have to say it's not real. It's all a real experience, but it's changing in every moment into who you say you are. You don't need, let me be clear here, you don't need to change or shift or create or manifest. It's already happening in every moment of now. It's natural, it's your nature, you're doing it anyway. That's who you are. That's the nature of awareness or consciousness, to be aware of itself. That's the nature of consciousness, to be conscious of itself. The consciousness and awareness is changeless. But to be conscious of yourself or to be aware of itself, that's its nature. To be aware of itself as all that is, as that changeless one. Change in the changeless. It's not either or. That's the great paradox of the Father is greater than I. But I and the Father are one, but the Father is greater than I am. That's the great paradox. There's no separation. You have that apparent seen physical frame, and then you have the illuminated, unseen, non-physical frame. This looks like this is what we call the manifested reality, but it's not what it seems. Any apparent continuity or solidity or time delay is a complete and utter illusion. It's always new in every moment. There's no delay. It's always changing into who you say you are, period. Reality's always manifesting, always creating. Creation's finished. Eternity's eternity, infinity's infinity, but at the same time, it's expanding. It's becoming more. So you're creating your experience of that existence that you are. In every moment, that illuminated, unseen, non-physical frame is who you say you are, your identity, as source, as creator. It's what has never been and never will be, and it's only in the here and now, as Vadim Zeland says in Tufti. This is what's real. Who? In the who is you. That's reality. It's not about other people, events, and circumstances. It's not about affirmations, visualizations, and meditations. Nothing wrong with those. It's not even about your changing thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Those are all secondary causation. Secondary considerations. They're not first cause. They're not source of anything. They're always changing. That's why you hear teachers say it's not real. Because what's real is changeless. That awareness that you are. But it's a real experience as that changeless reality that you are. As that awareness, as that consciousness. You're always changing and shifting and creating and manifesting your reality in your entire life experience in every moment. Not how, who. It was never about how or what or where or when or why. That's what keeps you focused on that manifested frame that's always changing anyway. Remember, you're looking at reality as reality. In every moment, it's changing into who you are aware, who and how you're aware of yourself. Who are you aware of being? That's your reality. Who are you? Your very own awareness of yourself creates it all. Choose to be aware of yourself as the version of you who is and has everything you want and desire. Circumstances are circumstances, conditions are conditions. And I know some of those conditions and circumstances that we define as negative or really unwanted. I get it. But they're always changing. You define who you are. Assume it. Go to the end and stay there. Be the proof of everything you want and desire to experience in and as your own reality. Nothing happens out there in time, in space, and circumstances. That's the illusion. It's not what it seems. It happens within and through and as you. You are a new version of you, experiencing a new reality in every moment. Nothing is fixed. The past, present, and future, the memories, the images, the stories, the circumstances are created anew in every moment. You're creating all of it in every moment of now. I've showed this in many different videos. You are that self-existing first cause, that existence itself, source. The field, the Father, the one universal mind, the I am, the great I am. It's an essence. It's not a person, it's impersonal. It's all personalities. It's all possibilities. Then you're creating your experience. You illuminate your experience as that one. All possible versions of you, all possible experiences exist here and now. Past, present, and future. In other words, the past and future are just ideas. All of your identities exist now. There are no past lives or future lives. All your lives, all your possibilities are going on right now. Changing form. So the question is, who am I? Who am I? That's the question that I asked. That's the conclusion I got to. It was none of that other stuff. The illuminated frame of reality here and now, you control that. No one and nothing else does anything. Wow. When you ask who, you don't have to, the how and the what and the where and the why and the when. That all wants to try to control manifested conditions. But manifested conditions are never the same in any moment. They're always changing into who you are. And that's what you control, your definition, your assumptions, your beliefs about who you are. Your truth. What you say is true of you and your reality, not what others say, as Scripture pointed out in Matthew 16. Not Jeremiah, not Elijah, not John the Baptist, not one of the prophets. Who do you say that I am? Who do you say that you are? Your I am story, here and now and in every moment, creates your entire life experience. That present moment in the here and now that you call the present moment. It's not a placeholder. It's now. It's the vertical. It's the point of power through which all realities emanate and come into being. In the past and future are just ideas that you create right now. You might say, no, but I have memories of this. But you're creating that memory now. You're creating that image now. What you imagine your future to be, what you remember your past to be is all created here and now by how you define yourself in this now moment. And that manifested physical frame is not what it seems to be. That's why you're in that frame asking all those how and what and where and why questions. There's only the who. And it's changing in every moment. The idea that the script is written means every possible experience or lifeline or life or version of you and experience exists as a potential. And each one of those experiences have their own fate or destiny, but there are infinite choices. And it's always changing in every moment. So when we say follow the script, we mean the script's new in every moment. Follow who you say you are. Be that. And everything unfolds from that. It's not what it seems. That any continuity is a complete and utter illusion. It's still real. But it's still real because it's a real experience. But it's not what it seems. You are reality. You control the frame. The frame. It's never about how. It's about who. This will change your life. This is what did it for me. It's the who. And the who is you. This means you get to control the frame, that you get to control your reality. By identifying yourself, not by trying to push on circumstances, trying to change others. Complaining about conditions and circumstances that are always changing anyway. By defining who you are, no matter what the circumstances are. I know a lot of you ask me about physical death transitions and all of that. And I've told you, I've shared this in many videos. My own twin brother made his transition, as well as 3 other brothers at young ages. But I stopped asking why and what and where and when and start defining who I am. I create my entire world, and you do too. Remember, everything's just changing forms. No one went anywhere. Just as my brothers are right here and now, everyone, we're all spirit, projecting this physical experience. There's nothing that ceases to be. I just want to remind you of that. It's never about how, it's about who. And the who is you. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and these are the studios at Be Something Wonderful, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, check out the Tom Kearin channel. We released a big video there. Also, we're going to be scheduling our next live event for August. This is where I answer your questions during a live stream. Stay tuned and join us there. Until next time, with great love, with great lights and infinite gratitude, this is Tom here in the studios at Be Something Wonderful. Until next time, we'll see you soon.